the Coastal and the Atlantic are no longer a thing. You've got complete coastal chaos happening in this conference. Let's take a look at the standings right here. We've got them not on your screen, but on our screens over here at home. When we look at this conference, fellas, I'm going to talk about them. I talked about them yesterday. You got a team hanging out at the top of the conference. 2 teams, in fact, 3 teams. Will's wearing the logo of one of them. You got the number 7 Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, the number 16 Virginia Cavaliers, and then a 5-2 overall, 3-0 SMU team. Those 3 teams lead the race for Charlotte. Tell you one thing, man, if we could get a Pony Express and a up with the white and gold ACC title game, we're cooking in Charlotte. And Gavin won't have to eat cookout that time either and get just massively sick. But he does have, I don't know what you have. Is it which STD is that again that you have? I couldn't remember.
He lost a street fight.
He lost a street fight.
It really looks like it.
Me saying an STD and then also saying a street fight is a wild correlation that we don't need to even get into the parameters of what that could mean. ACC race, Florida State falls. Let's just talk about that. Florida. We're going to talk Norvell here in a little bit. Florida State falls in absolutely chaotic fashion. Did you guys see how that game ended, by the way?
The wrong Norvell was fired today, by the way.
Well, Jay Norvell deserved to be fired. I will say
agree.
That. But
the other wrong was Norvell.
Yeah. We're going to talk Norvell in a second.
I know.
Florida State loses.
Horrible game. 0-4 in conference plays is
haven't won a game in a long time in the ACC.
Yeah,
Miami, though, loses to Louisville. And we talked about this, and I was on make sure you go check out his new ACC show, All Access, there with Billy Embody, good friend of the program. We'll see him soon as well. You know, he asked me about this game, and I said, look, man, I think Jeff Brom is the most underrated coach in America. And we've been saying this time after again. You could clip, please, somebody. Please. Crowd booth, whatever it is, out of context. Please go cut and edit every single time I've said this. Put it together with a montage. He won at Purdue. If you win at Purdue, you're probably a good football coach. He gets back home. He's got the family involved up there in Louisville. And look, I mean, the dude might be a quarterback whisperer. I'm not talking about in terms of like putting him in the Hall of Fame or anything. But if you want to have your career, if you want to have a little revival in your career as a quarterback, I go to Louisville because he's starting to get a nice little turn there of those guys. Love Jeff Brom. They're in the thick of things, number 19 in the country. Duke did suffer their first conference loss, obviously, to Georgia Tech. Pitt looks revived under their new quarterback that they have. Holstein, obviously not playing for them. And then Cal is 2-1 and 5-2 overall, which we don't have to talk about that. But I guess same way we took this.
I need them to lose some games.
Same way we took this, Ralph. I'll start with you. When you look at this ACC race, who are your true contenders at the halfway point or the midpoint of the season right here?
The top 3 teams: Georgia Tech, Virginia, and SMU. I think Louisville's
nobody
good.
Beyond it.
I think Louisville's good, but that one conference loss I think is going to hinder them a little bit. Is to Virginia, and they still got to play Clemson and SMU in the season. The ACC has been just, I don't want to say the word I want to use, but it's just been a crazy this year. Yeah. Obviously, with Florida State, we thought we were going to be the revival season after last year.
Oh, well, I don't know. Revival is the right word. I mean, I thought they'd be all right. But
well, better than 2-10. But obviously, we were wrong about that, and they've completely fallen off the face of the earth. No one expected Virginia to be good. That's for one. Chandler Morris has been the absolute best player they've ever had in a long time at Virginia. Pitt's obviously just doing what they've been doing the last few years. Obviously, last year they went undefeated for a while. This year they're kind of just throwing losses to Louisville right now in a very close game. So, Louisville's in there. Like I said, they still got to play Clemson and SMU. Anything can happen in those games. If we've seen anything this year, anything can happen in this conference week by week. I think Tech's the favorite right now, obviously, just because their strength of schedule going to the rest of the season isn't as tough as some other teams that play. But if anything's shown you, we don't know what's going to happen the next weekend in college football.
As soon as I thought Virginia would waltz through the rest of their schedule, North Carolina, Cal was going to be a tough one going across country. They host Wake Forest. They go to Duke. Cal and Duke being the tough ones. They almost get beat by Washington State, which Washington State, by the way, back-to-back weeks, they've almost knocked off a top 25 team. I don't know what's happening in Wazoo land. Will, for you, is it as clear as those undefeated teams? Or are you waiting for some late season chaos to maybe shake things up?
I think there will certainly be some late season chaos. I think your undefeateds and your one loss teams are still in it. I think Miami, they're certainly still in it. Louisville, of course, still in it. They get a big boost. I'm actually going to say I'm out on Duke.
Okay.
I did not like what I saw from Duke, and I'm not saying that to try and disparage Georgia Tech at all. I think Georgia Tech was great for 4 quarters, and that's what you got to do when you go on the road. But some head scratching decisions from Duke, I thought, and this is no surprise, and this is a compliment to Georgia Tech. They just out physical Duke. Duke was not as physical as I thought they were.
Yeah.
As we found out, I learned a lot about Duke because I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
That goal line stand, I was sitting there, I was waiting on a quarterback run. I was like, how great would it be for me if Mensa just punches this in on his own with a quarterback run? But it didn't happen, and Tech was great. But that concerns me for Duke the rest of the way. Pitt, we hate Pitt. We don't like talking about Pitt. Pitt does have to go to the flats, so I think that's going to knock Pitt out. We'll be at a playoff game in a couple weeks in the ACC, I believe.
We will. Haven't announced it yet, but we will.
If things hold serve this week, we'll be at a de facto ACC playoff game, which will be a ton of fun. I think that game will. I think the winner of that game will make the ACC title game. But you'll figure out what that game is in due time. But yeah. I agree with Ralph. Georgia Tech is certainly the favorite. I think the way it goes right now, the way Tech season finishes up, I will be surprised if they're not 11-0 going into clean old-fashioned hate.
Yeah. Here's my thing, and I mentioned this on Saturday's Instant Reaction show. Georgia Tech played a real pass game against Darian Menza. Like, they shut down the run game, and Duke's run game had seen a little bit of a resurgence over the past couple of weeks. If Georgia Tech runs into a team that can play a little bit more balanced offensively, that would concern me if I'm a Georgia Tech fan the rest of the way. Like, that would concern me. I don't know if that's on the schedule, to be honest with you, until they get to Atlanta when they play up there in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Guys, we didn't really talk about them. I don't think Miami's out of this thing. Like, obviously, we talked about this. They're going to play SMU here in a couple of weeks. Syracuse comes to town, which that's going to be a revenge factor game after Syracuse knocked them out of the ACC race. Shout out those 2 fans in the stands wearing the green and orange last year.
That was awesome. I love that.
Awesome.
Actually.
That was amazing. NC State comes to town. They got to go to Virginia Tech. They got to go to Pitt late in the season. There's an opportunity, and also they do play Stanford this weekend, an upbeat Stanford team, I should say. I should have taken that 2+ wins, man, on Stanford. Like,
that might have been the easiest bet of the year. I said they could go 0-12.
Crazy.
I said they go 0-12 this year.
This Miami Pitt game at the end of the season was interesting because that could be a play-in game to go to Charlotte. Look, when I look at the contenders in this league, and we can sit here and laugh, and people are going to talk nationally about the ACC and what it is. Georgia Tech and Virginia just keep winning. Like, and for all, and I said this on Saturday. Look, the strength of schedule conversation, I understand it, but there has to be something to said about you just keep going out there and winning football games. And regardless, and I think both of those teams have undergone some adversity. You have 2 top 20 teams right now at the top of your standings. You've got Louisville sitting there at 2-1. You have Miami at 1-1. Kind of crazy. Miami's played 6 games. They've only played 2 conference games to this point. Look, I sit here on October, 19th, and I tell you, like, I think this thing's far from a finished product. But if I had to put a team, and let's get to here, with where we're going with this, I'm going to roll with Georgia Tech SMU in Charlotte. That's going to be my pick. I want to see it, but I was talking with some people the other day about this, and they said, you know what, SMU kind of feels like they did last year. Sputtered early. They had that loss early last year. You kind of forgot about them. Red Lashley's just handing out L's to the ACC for the past 2 years, by the way. We'll see if that stops, but I'm going Georgia Tech, SMU, and Charlotte. That's my midseason pick.
Speaking of that, let me pull it up. I think I sent it to y'all, the stat on Rhett Lashley. In conference, yes. SMU has not lost a regular season game to a conference opponent since November 17th, 2022. 2023, they were 8-0 in American play. Last year, they were 8-0 in ACC play. This year, they're 3-0 in ACC play. They have not lost a conference game in 3 seasons.
I don't care what conference you're in. That's good.
Yep. How many times have I said it? Making the playoffs easy. Just win your games.
Yeah.
Just win your games. And look, this is I know where people are going to go with this, but that's Georgia Tech. That's why they're a top 10 team in the country, because they continue to win. They are not. They don't have the flashiest offense. They don't have the highest scoring offense, but they just beat teams into submission and they win. It's old school. I love it.
Yeah. They play ball, right? So before we go to a break and then we come out of it and we talk about hot seats, which I know Will can't wait to. Real quick, I'm going Georgia Tech SMU. I want to see it. I'm manifesting that. I want to see that in Charlotte in about a month and a half. Is that what you're rolling with? You want to see Tech SMU? All right, Ralph. Clean sweep of the board.
At the game.
No cheering in the press box, sir, please. Ralph, are you going to break the streak? You're going to
take me if I do that.
Are we talking about what I want to see or what I think we'll see? Because I think we'll see Georgia Tech, Virginia. I'd love to see Georgia Tech, SMU, though.
You think that you're going Georgia Tech, Virginia?
I think so.
It's going to be fun, man.
My second choice would be Georgia Tech, Miami. That'd be my second choice.
I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't hate to see Georgia Tech, Louisville. But you know what the common denominator is? We're all saying the Jackets are heading to Charlotte. Book your tickets.